दर्शक बंधु कैंडिड इंटरफेस को स्वागत। आज आम गहणर अच्छा श्री ध्रुव प्रसाद पंडा सी हेले जड़े बैंकर और अति परिचित ट्रेकर आम ओडिशा रे। श्री पंडा को आमर धन्यवाद आम स्टूडियो आसिक जॉइन करने। आमर प्रथम प्रश्न है व्हाट डू वी अंडरस्टैंड बाय एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स। कहीं एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स उपर आम बहुत किसी शुणीचे मात्र एक्चुअली कौन श्री पंडा हमको कहिबे।
एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स इज ए स्पोर्ट्स, इट इज एन इवेंट और एक्सपीरियंस or activity that involves excitement and unusual situation, dangerous situation, risk taking. All these factors they mix up to create an environment of adventure. तो ये adventure को नहीं जो स्पोर्ट्स जो खेल सबू आमे खेलू ताकू एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स कहा जाए।
राइट, वेरी गुड।
एडवेंचर हैज ए टिंट ऑफ से ब्रेवरी। आमे आमर ब्रेवरी रो परिचय पाउ से पार्टिसिपेट कले जाए एडवेंचरस एक्टिविटीज रे वी गेट।
आपण कहू चाहूचन जे समस्ते एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स को जाई परिबेनी, जो मानकर साहस अछि कॉन्फिडेंस अच्छी से माने ही दे कैन एस्पायर टू गो फॉर एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स।
अपन ठीक कहले कॉन्फिडेंस सबुठु बड़ इंपोर्टेंट फैक्टर। आउ से कॉन्फिडेंस जहाँ थाए निजर एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स रे भाग नेले आमे एडवेंचर रु कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डअप करि परिबा एवं हमर कॉन्फिडेंस रो ग्रोथ हबो। That is another factor.
Further growth
strength, yes. Inner strength as well as outer strength, both. Physical strength as well as mental strength. ये सबुरो ग्रोथ हबो।
बहुत बढ़िया। आमे तो माउंटेनियरिंग ट्रेकिंग उपरे आमर दर्शक बंधु माने सब निश्चित भाव शुणी थे, बट आई वुड लाइक टू टेल हाउ पॉपुलर इट इज इन इंडिया। इज माउंटेनियरिंग ट्रेकिंग पॉपुलर लाइक स्विट्जरलैंड कहतु यूएस कहतु से सब जगह भारी very very popular. What do you think when we come to India and particularly when we come to Odisha, how popular is mountaineering and trekking?
20th century रे last quarter रे मु ट्रेकिंग स्टार्ट कली एवं से समय रे ओडिशा रे मु देखिबारे बिल्कुल कौनसी कन्सियसनेस नथिला, अवेयरनेस नथिला। ट्रेकिंग कौन लोक जानी नथिले एवं आम इंडिया रे बॉम्बे गुजरात वेस्ट बेंगल ये भली स्टेट केतेटा स्टेट रो लोक माने ट्रेकिंग करुथिले, किंतु एबे 21st सेंचुरी रे एटा एते पॉपुलर हलानी जे एबे गाँ गहलरू एपर कि कलाहांडी जिल्ला रू लोक एवरेस्ट क्लाइम पाई कलेनी। सेइथरु जना पडुछि जे वर्तमान इंडिया रे भी ट्रेकिंग और माउंटेनियरिंग केते पॉपुलर हलानी एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट।
वेरी गुड। जेहेतु आम गोटे आलोचना करुचे जार विषय वस्तु है हिमालय कॉलिंग, तो हिमालय उपरे आपण दीपद कहतु। लेट आवर ऑडियंस बी अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट एक्चुअली इज हिमालय, तार खूबी कौन तापर आपण दीपद कहतु।
हिमालय रो निजस्व गरिमा अछि। उत्तर भारत रे ताहा 2500 फुट रो विराट कांथ सदृश आमको तिब्बत रो ठंडा पवन रक्षा करे एवं पृथ्वीर सबु 14टी उच्चतम शृंग पार्वतीय शृंग हिमालय अवस्थित। भारत रे नहुँ नेपाल रे तिब्बत रे सब रही, किंतु हिमालय रेंज रे ही 8000 मीटर ऊर्ध्व मीटर शिखर सबू हिमालय रे ही अवस्थित। आम भारतीय संस्कृति उत्स होची हिमालय। कहीं ना आम भारतीय संस्कृतिर उत्स होची वेद एवं व्यासदेव हिमालयर विभिन्न गुंफारे रही एई वेद को से एडिट करथिले संपादना करथिले से निजे रचना कर नथिले किंतु संपादना करथिले एवं तहिरु आम भारतीय संस्कृति आसीछि तेणु हिमालय मध्य भारतीय संस्कृतिर उत्स गंगार उत्स बड़ बड़ नदी मानकर गंगा जमुना सरस्वती सिंधु इत्यादि नदी मानकर मध्य उत्स तेणु हिमालयर भारत को बहुत अवदान.
So Himalaya has a special significance for India. There is no doubt about that.
Exactly.
Now, when we are talking of mountaineering and trekking, you must have noticed one thing, that people confuse between mountaineering and trekking. So let us discern between mountaineering and trekking. I think that will be of interest to our viewers.
Yes, mountaineering is more adventurous and it involves some technical knowledge as well as high-end training in different mountaineering institutes. Trekking आमे निजर आमोद प्रमोद पाई कम हाइट रे आमे हाइट गेन करू प्राय 15-20 हजार फुट तल को जो माने जानती एवं माउंटेन ट्रेकिंग माने होची वॉक इन दी माउंटेन्स और हिल्स एवं माउंटेनिंग मीन्स क्लाइंबिंग all these peaks I mentioned earlier above 8,000 meters. So mountaineering is more adventurous than trekking.
ମୁଁ କହିବି ଯେ trekking is more like a leisure activity.
Yes, exactly.
ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କହୁଛେ ଯେ ଟିକେ ବୁଲିକିରି ଆସିବା ତ ଆମେ ମଝି ମଝିରେ କହୁ ଚାଲ ଟିକେ trekking କରିକିରି ଆସିବା. So I think it's a very light sort of an exercise also.
Yes.
What is your opinion on that?
It is walking. Trekking is walking.
Right.
But walking with a little bit of adventure.
Yeah. With more of enthusiasm.
Yes, most of it exciting also.
Yeah.
Because you go to some unknown place, you explore, explore different areas. I have explored many places in Himalaya.
Wonderful. Now, when we are talking of mountaineering, it's important on our part to tell our viewers where are the different mountaineering institutes located in India and what type of courses they conduct.
After independence, Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister, he established one mountaineering institute at Darjeeling. So, Darjeeling is the first mountaineering institute. Then Manali re आउ गोटे इंस्टीट्यूट हैला तार ना दिया हैला नेहरू इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ माउंटेनियरिंग.
नेहरू इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ माउंटेनियरिंग.
That is sorry in Uttarkashi, not in Manali. Manali there is another institute of mountaineering. These three are very prominent. But besides them, trekking mountaineering involves rock climbing, skiing, and so many other things.
Right.
So ये सब रो छोटा छोटा ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट भी काश्मीर रे गुलमार्ग रे पहलगांव रे आपनकर अरुणाचल प्रदेश रो अरुणाचल प्रदेश रे
विभिन्न
जगह रे सब अच्छी आहुरी हिमाचल प्रदेश रो भी आहुरी 2-3 जगह रे अच्छी Manali.
And what type of courses they conduct? Is it very long term course or there are also short term courses?
No, these are all short term courses.
Acha.
Not long term. There are generally 3 types of training. One is basic training course. That is for trekking we don't require any training course.
Okay.
But it is better if you have undergone
some training.
Yeah. So basic training course. Then if you go for mountaineering, you have to take up advanced training course, and there is another training course, rock climbing training course.
Rock
climbing is very important. And then river crossing.
River crossing.
Yes. And then skiing and gliding. All these are,
and gliding.
Yes, gliding also.
And
skiing and gliding.
Okay.
These trainings are given in those institutes.
Wonderful. Great. Now, Mr. Panda, what I would like to ask you is, what I understand, you have done a lot of courses, you have done a lot of trekking, you have also been in the team of a lot of mountaineering expeditions. Now I would like to ask you, who has been your inspiration in this area? Today what you are, who has been your inspiration? Who excited you, who motivated you, who inspired you so that what you are today?
I have been inspired since my childhood. At the age of 9, I visited a few ashrams with my father, where Dr. Janardhan Pujari, a spiritual guide of Sambalpur, was giving discourse, and in his discourse he narrated his Himalayan experience. Means he visited many places like Gangotri, Gomukh and Kailash Mansarovar, etc. He narrated his experience. I was a child, I didn't understand his spirituality, but these adventure story he narrated during discourse, that caught my imagination.
Right.
And I create, and one impression has been created me about Himalaya. It is full of river, snow, ice, then snow-clad mountains, then Deodar tree, and
so Mr.
so
Pujari
many, yes,
yeah, inspired you, motivated you, and you are also you had an inclination to be a mountaineer.
Yes. Then another source is, when I was reading in school at the age of 12, one mountaineer came to our school,
Okay.
and he demonstrated what is trekking and mountaineering,
Okay.
showing us color slides. That is also another source of inspiration for me.
Source of
From then onward, in the school, very close to our school, there is a hill. A few of our friends, we periodically went there and climbed the mountain.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. Was there any inspiration from your parents' side?
Parents' side, there is no inspiration. My father was encouraging me,
Achha, okay.
but then he didn't inspire because he himself was not doing any trekking a mountain.
But he was inspiring
Yes,
you
yes,
to
he
what
was
you are
inspiring,
doing.
yes, yes.
Great.
And
That
then-
itself is a big thing.
And then I came to Raurkela, and one Dr. Ashok was there in IGH. He became my friend, and together we activated that Rotaract club also, where you were also involved.
Yeah, right. Right.
So he inspired me more because he himself was a mountaineer, and he told me that even if I cannot do mountaineering, I can do trekking.
Okay.
And so with his inspiration, I started trekking.
Right.
But unfortunately, I lost him because he expired. He died in an accident, rock climbing in
when he was climbing a mountain.
Yes, in Raurkela.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I still remember that.
Yeah.
Another one little thing, since you have gone into different expeditions, a lot of trekkings and mountaineering plans and programs, what I would like to tell you is, why don't you simulate a good experience of yours where you felt excited and joyful, so that all of us will feel very happy about it. Could you please share one or two moments
Yes,
on that?
definitely.
Yeah.
I will narrate first one incident of 1984. I have done many difficult trekking, and this trekking was also a difficult one. I met two persons of Uttarkasi at Gomukh, and they were determined to go to Tapovan. One place is there with altitude 15,000 feet, and we had to cross a glacier.
Achha, glacier.
They were local persons, so they were acquainted with Himalaya, but I was strange in that place. So I took their help, and we together moved towards Tapovan. So we have to cross their entire Gangotri glacier.
Okay.
And we climbed certain portions of the glacier, then from glacier to the base of Shivling mountain.
Right.
So under their guidance, we started the journey.
Okay,
But
wonderful.
when we were crossing the glacier, one fellow out of the two villagers, he was thirsty and he wanted water, and we didn't have water. So he told, we cannot proceed ahead without water.
Okay.
Then I went below, collected water from a small source, a small lake type source.
Achha.
And from there I came and gave him water, and all three started trekking. But we had to climb another 2 kilometers
Okay, great.
with 3000 height, climbing 3000 height.
Okay, okay.
We are hopeless
Huh.
because the time was also, I mean, it was about to be sunset.
Huh.
So we lost hope and we thought that in the glacier we will die in the night.
Achha, okay.
But fortunately, we still tried and tried and finally we could climb to the level of Tapovan, and there we lay down on the grass.
Okay, wonderful.
And that was the most enjoyable piece of
Experience of
experience
yours.
of mine.
Yeah, right, wonderful. Yeah, I'm
Another,
sure.
if I have time permits,
Yeah,
I can add another.
yeah, you can tell another one also,
Yes.
fine.
The same Gomukh,
Hmm.
I went with my wife in 2009.
Hmm.
Earlier incident was in 1984, this is 2009.
9.
My wife accompanied me, although she is physically not fit,
Hmm.
she still ventured and we started from Gomukh, Gangotri.
Gangotri.
Gangotri. Gangotri to Gomukh is 19 kilometers. And we somehow reached 14 kilometers.
Achha, 14 kilometers.
14 kilometers. And there was an ashram. We took shelter there in the night. And next day, we started from the ashram to Gomukh. So it was, the height wise, it was very difficult for us.
Achha.
Even for me, what to
Achha.
talk of my
What to
wife.
talk of her.
Yes. So after trekking 2 kilometers, she told that I cannot proceed.
I cannot proceed further.
She cannot proceed to Gomukh. Then I also didn't take any risk, and I told her to rest near a rock, sitting near a rock, and she told me, why you will miss going there, you together with the guide you go there. So with the guide I proceeded,
Okay, okay.
leaving behind her. Then we reached Gomukh. The track, there is no track absolutely. We have to jump from boulder to boulder, and reached Gomukh. Took bath there. It was ice cold water.
My God.
And Ganga is emanating from a small cave like place, just at the end of the glacier.
Right.
So we took photographs, and while just starting to go back to our ashram,
Yeah.
when I turned, I saw my wife coming
Okay.
alone.
Oh.
I was just
You were stunned.
dumbfounded.
Yeah,
Yes,
stunned.
astounded.
Yeah, right.
Astounded to see her. Because I never thought that she can make it alone to that place.
Okay.
But somehow
She managed.
came. I just went and embarrassed her, and it was the most proud moment for me and most joyful moment for me.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Now, Mr. Panda, what I understand, you have written some books on Himalaya pertaining to trekking, mountaineering and all. How many books you have written?
I have written 4 books.
4 books.
3
yeah.
on Himalayas.
3 on Himalaya.
And 1 on Upanishad.
Achha, 1 on Upanishad. Very good. Wonderful. And could you please very briefly tell on these 4 books?
Yeah.
2 lines on each?
Yes. I was a writer, but I was writing small articles, and it was being published at
In different
by
papers
different
and magazines.
and papers. But I never hoped to write a book. But one of my friends, he inspired me and asked me to write, and he will take all the efforts to publish it.
To get it published.
So I started writing.
Right.
I have written 3 books on Himalaya. The first one is my trekking story up to 2005.
Achha, my
whatever I had
trekking
trekked.
story till 2005.
5. So
Right.
it is a sort of travelogue in Himalaya.
Achha, it's a
Travelogue in
travelogue.
Himalaya. And it contains a few chapters covering places from Jammu Kashmir to northeast,
Okay.
entire Himalaya.
Okay, very good.
And
very good.
then some people told me, you have written a lot about your travel, but you have not written about saints.
About what?
Saints.
Achha.
Saints means sadhu santha.
Yeah.
So I wrote a book on santhas. I took 9 characters from Himalaya,
Okay.
those who have spent their entire life in Himalaya,
Okay.
and in the process of writing about their biography and philosophy, 100 saints, others saints, they were included.
Okay.
So it's a very popular book in Odisha.
Wonderful.
And it has undergone 2 reprints, and all the copies are exhausted. Now we have to go for the third reprints.
Right.
And my first book, Sailatirtha, that has been reprinted twice, and now running is fourth. I mean, we are trying to publish the fourth edition. Fourth edition.
Right.
It has been translated into Hindi also, and within a week or two, the English translation of the first book will be published.
Will also be seen in this stands.
And the third book I have written recently, that is Himalaya Shruti Smruti Anubhuti. That is the fourth book.
Yeah.
And my third book was on Upanishad. Satyapathara Pahunda. Satyapathara Pahunda is a very large volume of 650 pages, and it depicts the Vidyas in Upanishad, means meditation in Upanishad.
Wonderful.
So these are my four books.
Wonderful.
I have written about my trekking experience after 2005, whatever.
What you have done after 2005.
After 2005.
Okay. Okay.
And one or two which I left in the first book, that was also included.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. It's a big achievement, I should say. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. Now, another little thing, which really comes to my mind is, I understand that you are also a professional banker, and you took your VRS to pursue your own way of life from the UCO Bank. I think you are branch manager in Sambalpur. And what have been your experiences as a banker?
Actually, I joined bank after nationalization, and Indira Gandhi, our ex-Prime Minister, he did a lot of, good job. One of them is bank nationalization. Bank were confined to only big cities and towns, and they were taking they were considering the interest of industrialists only. Indira Gandhi thought, why maximum people in India are living in villages, why they will be deprived of banking facility.
Right.
So she nationalized 14 banks, after that another 6 banks, and she asked all the banks to open rural branches. So banking industry went to rural areas and started financing agriculture also.
Okay.
So as an employee of bank, I have contributed a lot in helping farmers and small entrepreneurs in rural areas. That way, I have contributed in something towards nation building.
Yeah, obviously. And your contribution must be immense, and you must be even now feeling happy what you have done.
Yes, when I look back,
right.
I feel happy.
When you flash back, I'm sure you must be feeling very happy about it.
Yes.
Great, wonderful. Now, one thing which really comes to my mind is, we find, I don't say more so in India, I find that the people, instead of going nearer and nearer to the nature, they are drifting from the nature. As you must have seen, there are a lot of concrete jungles everywhere, but the focus we need to give on planting trees, greenery, is lacking very much. I don't say they don't plant trees, they do, but the much more effort is required compared to what they are doing on development. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, exactly what you say, that is true. We are drifting away from nature, or nature is receding because of our activities. Lot of pollutions are there. We are cutting lot of trees, and there is no water in the river. Glaciers are drying off in the Himalayas, so it is not able to feed the rivers the required amount of water. And we are deprived of water, forest, trees, and in that place big industries are coming up.
Right.
So industries are definitely
needed. Nobody says no
for the development of the country.
Yeah, true.
But not at the cost of nature. We have to protect the nature, and then we go for.
We need to, I would say we need to, some sort of a balancing is required,
Yes.
Development at one side and nurturing the nature at the other end, so that, there is not lopsided growth, but the growth in the real sense.
But when youth will be involved in trekking and mountaineering sort of things, they will know what is nature and what is the value of nature.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That that value we must understand.
Value, yeah. The
And
value of nature is very much
yes,
important
yes,
for us
yes.
to understand.
And
all
this
of us.
trekking has this aspect also.
Right. Right. Wonderful. Another one little thing, which comes to my mind, and I thought do you think trekking, mountaineering should be in the school curriculum?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I have seen children from Gujarat, Maharashtra and West Bengal, they go, school children, they go for trekking and it is being sponsored by the school and they are government also. And a few corporate bodies, they are also encouraging their personnels, their employees, their officers.
Wonderful.
To go for
that,
trekking.
that is definitely a very important
particularly Tata
initiative.
Company. Yes, particularly Tata. Tata is sending every year thousands of its employees, including TCS and all.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
For
Now we are at
trekking,
the
for
last
trekking
lap
in
of
the
our discussion. Mr. Panda, I would like to request you to give an inspirational message to our viewers, particularly the young, very briefly.
आमे आमर पहाड़ पर्वत को केवल हिमालय कथा मु कहूनी आम लोकल पहाड़ पर्वत को मध्य आमे बंचेकी रखिबा सेठी आमे ट्रेकिंग करिबा ट्रेकिंग माध्यम रे आमर निज शक्तिर परिचय पाई परिबा आमर जो इनर स्ट्रेंथ अछि कॉन्फिडेंस तार भी परिचय पाई परिबा एवं प्रकृतिर कूलरे मनीष किपरि प्रकृतिर कूल को पुणी फेरी जीवो ता पाई चेष्टा करिया कथा यार माध्यम होउची ट्रेकिंग एंड माउंटेनिंग।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
युवक युवती मन को वर्तमान कहबी से माने ट्रेकिंग रे जानतु एवं निजर परिचय पांतु।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मिस्टर पंडा। आमको बहुत भल लागला आपण गोटे बहुत गुरुत्वपूर्ण विषय आलोचना आज है। दर्शक बंधु धन्यवाद।